Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got videos today from AntonDaniels.
42,000 people tested positive for STDs that went to Houston this spring break. And I know you've all seen the nasty videos of what was happening over there, but could you imagine being as useless as to be 25 plus years old, spring breaking, at your grown-ass age, hoeing?
I can agree with this. I also saw there was like comments and stuff like 40-year-old women going out on spring break, 30-year-old women going, yeah, spring break was a very young people thing.
Out. Our society's so fucked. These are going to be parents. And a lot of them probably got pregnant.
So since yesterday, I've been seeing a lot of videos of Houston spring break, Daytona Beach spring break. When does the cycle end? And to my black folks, I'm talking to y'all. Y'all be the same ones sitting up here trying to figure out why the world is racist and why people don't like us. But you set the exact reason. You are the reason. The way go look at yourselves in the videos. How ratchet and how disrespectful and outlandishly ridiculous y'all look and what y'all are doing. And I'm not telling you not to have fun, bro, but like there's a fine line between having fun and just flat out doing too much. And like as a man of color who has his life together and is doing life correctly and has mental and emotional stability, it's just fucking embarrassing, fam, because y'all make all of us look bad. Every single one of us. There's videos of...
I say it all the time, right? When I see an Asian guy or an Asian person come online and say stupid shit, I'm like, man, you're making Asians look bad.
White folks on social media, and I can't say I blame them, calling us monkeys and saying we're like animals out of a jungle. And then we sit up here and play victim and make it seem like we don't know why they call us that. Bro, I call us that. Y'all look like a bunch of fucking monkeys. Idiots. Fucking ignorant idiots, bro. And I'm so tired of this shit already. I'm truly tired of it. Like, black fatigue has gotten to me, and I love my culture. You know what I'm saying? I'm mixed, but I love being black. I take pride in being black. But not when the part of being black is represented through y'all. Because y'all don't represent this shit correctly. Y'all aren't proper. Y'all act like idiots.
I always say it. Like, you're the ambassador of your own kind. Everywhere you go. Like my Asian ass. If I go to the Midwest or something and act a fool, what do you think most people in the Midwest are now going to start thinking about darker Asians? Right? Because they've never really seen or experienced a darker Asian, maybe. I'm just saying, you know. And then when they see me and then I act a fool, they have no other reference other than this dark Asian guy that I see. He seems to act like a fool. Maybe dark Asians seem to act like fools, right? It just kind of translates that way.
Not only that, but there's STD spreading like a motherfucker, and y'all over here sucking and fucking on anything that y'all want to. And bro, it's just, there comes a point, fam, and that point was met a long time ago. Long time ago. And I'm just genuinely sick of it, bro. Can y'all start acting like grown adults? Whether you're 18, 25, 30, it don't matter, bro. There's no excuse for you to be out there acting like that.
I wanted to give a shout out to the American. He sends me so many videos and so many clips on Instagram. I don't actually give out too many shout outs to like individuals, but shout outs to you, brother. I appreciate all your work.
Half of y'all in college.
Yeah, I think it gets to a point for everybody where it's like, hold on. Like, because for the residents, they start to get tired because they're like, why y'all coming down here and tearing up our stuff? It's not like y'all coming down here and y'all enjoying it. In a traditional setting, for example, let's say, for example, you have a conference or it's a bunch of people that come in town for the auto show or something like that,
sure.
Right? Those are situations where it's after parties. If people come in for a football game or a baseball game or a basketball game or a playoff, it'd be all kind of stuff that's happening during those events. But the city don't get tore up. Everything is not left in shambles, right?
I mean, I gotta admit, LA ain't much better. We tear our shit up even though we win a championship. So I don't even know what to say.
People actually benefit from your presence when you fly there for an event that is meaningful and you can control yourself and conduct yourself the right way. Whereas when people are flying in the spring break, right? When they go into Houston, when they go into Daytona, they come in and they destroy everything. They tear up everything. They don't leave anything to benefit from. The businesses suffer. The police department is overstretched. People get arrested, guns, killing, all kind of stuff. And then on top of that, you embarrass yourself as far as the image that you present to the world because you're super ratchet, right? And so when you think about it from a cultural perspective, people then hate to see you coming because they have an impression of what you're going to be like or what you're going to leave a place like when after you depart. And that's the problem where people start to have issues, right? Because on one hand, you'll have decent people that come in as a group and they automatically get stereotyped based off of the impression that you may have left.
Correct.
Or the fact that your parents was not parenting the way that they were supposed to, and so that's why you so disrespectful. When my kid goes out, and it doesn't matter if they out of town with their team or whatever, right? They conduct themselves properly. I am expecting for them to come back in one piece, for them not to have a disease, for them to act like they had some sense, and to present themselves the way that they're supposed to.
My father the exact same way, right? He expects me to not embarrass the family, not to embarrass myself, and not to embarrass him, right? Everybody has their own free will. Everybody has their own free will to do whatever they want, right? It's fine. Nothing's wrong with free will in a sense. But you have to realize your free will does affect others, and others in certain ways, right? That's just how the world works. There's always that butterfly effect of everything you kind of do. And it might be a butterfly effect of just things you would never even think of. This is one of them.
Right? Honestly, I'm keeping it 100% because she's an extension of me.
Correct.
So if y'all kids, parents, are out of town tearing up and destroying things, I gotta say that y'all are bad parents, straight up and down, across the board. You can try to make the excuses like you want to, but y'all are genuinely bad parents. When your child goes out of town by themselves or with their friends, and all of them are young people, it ain't no older people that's doing this. Now, maybe some people in their 20s,
So I think there's
early 20s, even mid 20s, sometimes like that. But in general, like, it's no reason why a whole town and whole cities should be destroyed just because you came there and you was there for a few days or for a week and then you leave. To see the amount of ratchetness that was going on in Daytona Beach and in Houston, and then they think that they doing you a favor if they say, "Oh, well, we gonna find somewhere else to tear up." You're not doing them a favor. You're actually, you leaving and not destroying everything is actually the thing that is best for that city and for that town. Again, when people fly in for certain events as adults, like people that are mature and spend money and plan for vacations or plan for events, they generally bring in an economic impact that substantially lifts the city when it comes to tourism.
True.
And the vision of or the visibility of how the city is supposed to present itself. When you see this type of stuff happen, it's a no-go, man. It's a no-go 100 times out of 100, and people are sick of it.
There's Chinese tourists. I know a lot of you guys have dealt with Chinese tourists. They're like straight China people coming in with massive amounts of cash. They are very rude. They're rude. They pushy. They don't care about waiting in line. They don't care about the rules of, like cordialness and stuff. They don't care about those things, right? That's the stereotype that came from them, right? Because a good chunk of Chinese people act that way when they go out into the United States. Now, most people in the United States see Chinese tourists as like unconsiderate people. It's a very similar thing. Now, a huge swath of people are going to Texas doing very similar thing. What are they going to think? They're like, yeah, we don't like you guys, and what we thought is exactly what we thought.
And they shouldn't have to be subjected to it over and over again. And it's the same thing as it's been 30 years ago, 40 years ago, bro.
You're considered a grown adult. Act like one, bro.
Let me join all the other Houstonian residents when they say, take your ass home. To all of the out-of-towners that descended upon the city for spring break / rodeo and acted a fucking donkey, get your shit and go home. And I mean that in the most disrespectful way. Y'all have terrorized this city and we're tired. Where the hell is Hot Wheels at when enforcing some curfews or some shit to keep...
I gotta say, when a whole city is making videos about how tired they are about the people that came to visit, Damn.
People from doing things. That's what we need right about now. Yeah, I fear that this may become a thing, and I don't think anyone here wants this to become a thing. So if you're not a resident of Houston, Marie, Texas, pack your shit and go home. We thank you for not visiting again. Don't think about living here. Don't think about moving. We're full to capacity. We are capped out. We've been capped out for quite some time. Yeah, but if you are going to move here, I hear Greens Point is running a special over there.
As a white person who lives 20 minutes from Daytona Beach, I got a few things to say about all of these spring breakers. First and foremost, that water is freezing cold. All right, I was there last weekend. We have had like 3 weeks of 30-degree weather. That water will give you hypothermia. That's why nobody was getting in it, okay? Second.
Again, this is why I said what I said. Well, I said, like, why would you go to Houston or Texas for and they're like, and someone commented like, oh, you act like they don't have 1,000 miles of beaches. I'm like, yeah, they do, but Texas beaches are not like tropical beaches. When you think of spring break, you think of like Cancun, Miami or something, you know, like warmer tropical places.
Second is the comment section under all of these videos. Like, you guys are just racist. All right, because like it is understandable, because I have been the only white person in certain spaces sometimes. And like, yeah, is there an overall vibe of like, hey, we should all just be really aware of our surroundings? Yes. Sure. But if you're in Florida, you should just naturally already be like that, personally, because it's Florida. And everybody I came into contact with, like, I was with my kid having a beach day. I was there the day that everybody was like running from their lives. It wasn't that bad. People were super respectful. Everybody was nice. Everybody was just there to have a good time. Like, it's fucking spring break. And like, also, I think what you're forgetting is like, these are 19, 20, 21.
I was there when everybody was running for their lives. It was cool.
I'm confused by that one.
That's not the biggest contradiction and oxymoron I've ever heard of in my entire life. This is, again, a lot of times what happens when you have white apologists or liberal apologists or people that are trying to belong to the culture. True. And they're making excuses for it. Ma'am, you are not helping us. You're actually hurting us. You're hurting us as Americans. You're hurting us as a black culture. Stop validating the BS, all right? We don't want to hear that. But I want to make sure that we get it from all angles so that y'all can see why people like me are upset that people keep giving a pass to doing dumb stuff on a regular basis. But let's continue with the diversity, equity, and inclusion.
22-year-old kids, because I don't think I was a fucking adult at 20, 21 years old.
Yeah, you also didn't trash beaches and ruin things when you were 21 either.
So like, next time you want to make a comment, just like think a little bit. Am I racist? Or am I actually saying something of value? And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the first one, all right?
So now, of course, you know, they want to validate if anybody has anything constructive to say or they disagree with what the culture did and how it is that they conducted themselves in a certain area, because it was overwhelmingly black people that went into these areas and tore them up, then naturally, if you are a white person, and this is, you know, this is why y'all can't say nothing a lot of times. If you are a white person, then guess what? You have no pass to be able to say some of the stuff that, or to call it out exactly like it is. You have no pass to be able to do so, because if you call out bad behavior and it just so happen to be black people, then you're racist.
Yep.
Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments.
It's weird that we can't criticize people for bad behavior just because they're a certain group of people. There's like a whole, like the LGBT group now is so protected. Black culture and black people are so protected from criticism. But we can criticize anybody. That's the power of free will. That's the power of being in the United States, free speech. We can point out truth. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And catch you guys next time. Ciao.